The Bible is filled with stories of mysterious and powerful creatures that have come into existence due to sin rather than God's direct creation. Among the most notable of these beings are the Nephilim and Satan himself. These figures emerged from spiritual rebellion and corruption, disrupting the natural order established by God. This exploration delves into the biblical background of these creatures and reveals what their existence signifies in the ongoing spiritual battle between good and evil. The Nephilim, creatures born of corruption. One of the most perplexing figures in the Bible is the Nephilim, a race of giants born from an unnatural union. The story is found in Genesis 6 verses 1-4, which has intrigued theologians for centuries. The passage begins, "When men began to multiply on the face of the earth and daughters were born to them, the sons of God saw that the daughters of man were attractive, and they took as their wives any they chose." The sons of God, in this passage, are interpreted by many scholars as fallen angels or demonic beings. Their union with human women resulted in the Nephilim, described as mighty men and giants with supernatural strength and power. This mingling of spiritual beings with humans was viewed as a significant corruption of humanity, an attempt by Satan to thwart God's plan. In the Garden of Eden, God had already given a prophecy about a coming Savior who would crush the serpent's head. Genesis 3 verse 15. Knowing that this Messiah would emerge from the human lineage, Satan sought to corrupt humanity. By creating hybrid beings through the Nephilim, he aimed to taint the human gene pool, making it impossible for the promised Savior to come from a pure line. This corruption was so severe that it led to the Great Flood. In Genesis 6 verses 5-7, it states, "The Lord saw that the wickedness of man was great in the earth, and that every intention of the thoughts of his heart was only evil continually." God regretted creating humanity and decided to wipe them out, saving only Noah and his family, who were pure in their generations. Genesis 6 verse 9. The Nephilim were a direct result of sin and rebellion. They were not part of God's original creation, but rather a distortion introduced by demonic forces. These beings posed a significant spiritual threat, leading God to cleanse the earth with the flood. Lucifer's fall, from radiant angel to Satan. Another figure born from sin is Satan, originally known as Lucifer. The name Lucifer means light-bringer or morning star. Once a high-ranking angel in heaven, Lucifer was full of beauty, wisdom, and authority. However, his pride led to his downfall. The prophet Isaiah captures this moment in Isaiah 14 verses 12-15. "How you are fallen from heaven, O day star, son of dawn! How you are cut down to the ground, you who laid the nations low." Lucifer desired to elevate himself above God, leading to cosmic rebellion in heaven. This ambition resulted in his fall, transforming him from a bearer of light to the adversary of God. Jesus referenced this event in Luke 10 verse 18 when he said, "I saw Satan fall like lightning from heaven." Lucifer's transformation into Satan marked the beginning of spiritual warfare between good and evil. No longer a source of light, Satan became the accuser, actively seeking to corrupt and destroy God's creation. Ezekiel 28 verses 12-15 metaphorically speaks of the king of Tyre, but also alludes to the nature of Satan's fall. "You were the signet of perfection, full of wisdom and perfect in beauty. You were in Eden, the garden of God. Every precious stone was your covering." This passage highlights Lucifer's former glory and the tragic consequences of his pride. Satan's rebellion led to a spiritual conflict that continues today. He actively works to deceive and destroy humanity, but his defeat is assured. The Bible assures us that Jesus will ultimately crush the serpent's head, fulfilling the prophecy in Genesis 3 verse 15. The demonic influence on humanity. Another group of creatures introduced by sin is demons. These beings were once angels who followed Lucifer in his rebellion against God. After being cast out of heaven, they now work to spread sin and corruption among humans. The New Testament is filled with instances of demonic influence. Jesus frequently encountered demons and cast them out with authority. For example, in Luke 8 verses 30 to 33, Jesus meets a man possessed by many demons. Jesus then asked him, "What is your name?" And he said, "Legion," for many demons had entered him. The demons begged Jesus not to send them to the abyss and requested to enter a herd of pigs instead. Demons are not mere abstract concepts. They are real beings that exert influence in the physical world. Their mission is to harm humanity, distort God's truth, and lead people away from righteousness. Their existence serves as a consequence of spiritual rebellion, making them Satan's agents in his war against God. However, demons are ultimately subject to God's authority. Jesus consistently demonstrated his power over them, proving that their reign of terror is temporary. James 2 verse 19 reminds us, "You believe that God is one. You do well." Even the demons believe and shudder. This emphasizes that even demons recognize God's power. The Antichrist, the ultimate human-demonic fusion. The Bible also speaks of the Antichrist, a creature that sin will produce in the last days. The Antichrist is a human figure empowered by Satan to deceive the world and oppose Christ. He embodies rebellion and sin, positioning himself as a false Messiah. 2 Thessalonians 2 verses 3 to 4 warns, "Let no one deceive you in any way. For that day will not come unless the rebellion comes first, and the man of lawlessness is revealed." The Antichrist will be a master of deception, performing signs and wonders to lead people away from the true God. His reign will be marked by tribulation and persecution, but it will be short-lived. The ultimate fusion of human ambition and demonic influence, the Antichrist represents a final attempt by Satan to thwart God's plan. Just like the Nephilim, Satan, and the demons, the Antichrist's fate is sealed. His rebellion will end in defeat, and Christ will establish his eternal kingdom. The dangers of pride and the call to humility. The lessons we learn from the figures discussed highlight the importance of humility and the dangers of pride. Proverbs 18 verse 12 states, "Before destruction, the heart of man is haughty, and before honor is humility." This verse underscores the connection between pride and downfall, emphasizing that true greatness comes through humility. In Philippians 2 verse 9, it is written, "For this reason also, God highly exalted him and bestowed on him the name which is above every name." Here, we see that Jesus was exalted because he first humbled himself. Humility is a choice we make, a conscious decision to renounce pride and personal ambition before God and others. We should approach God with a humble heart, acknowledging that true greatness comes from humility. We need to remember that everything we have is a gift from God. Isaiah 14 verses 11 to 15 warns against pride by describing the downfall of Babylonian rulers, specifically Lucifer. "Your pomp and the music of your harps have been brought down to Sheol. Maggots are spread out beneath you." This passage serves as a vivid reminder of the consequences of pride.
If you found this video enjoyable, please consider liking and sharing it. Additionally, subscribing to this channel will ensure that you receive more updates in the future. Thank you.